Was the LLMLE degree a big factor in your decision to come to Duke Law over other law schools?
When I actually started at Duke Law, I intended initially to get a different LLM, the one in international and comparative law. So I started initially thinking that that's what I would do, and then the more I learned about this particular program and the advantages like plugging in to the entrepreneurial community here in the Triangle, the professors, the opportunity to take business associations. Definitely one of the advantages starting out was the class schedule, so taking business associations, which really I'm now realizing is sort of a foundational course, so it's a launching point for then understanding our tax system, for understanding what different entities are and all of that. So I found that was super helpful. This afternoon I'm actually going over to the Startup Factory, which is a group of entrepreneurs here in Durham. They're just right downtown, so it's like a 10-minute bike ride from the law school. But I'm going to meet with one of their staff members about the differences in like funding gaps between men and women-led companies. So the opportunity to get outside of the law school, as you mentioned, and really interact and see how things are happening on the ground has been really, really incredible.
Tell me a little bit about the summer immersion program after 1L.
That's been one of my favorite parts of law school so far. It started right after 1L ended, which at first I was like, oh, this is going to be tough, because 1L is tough. But really it was so different than what the first year of law school had been, where you're really working on the classes and focusing so much on those, and then you're like sort of liberated into this whole new experience, which is completely different. And so my experience, I worked with a startup company that was in health IT, and they were working, and still are, working on an app that allows patients to electronically consent to things. Obviously consent and privacy law is super important, especially in the healthcare space. But they were working with state governments as far as like getting this tool implemented into community health centers throughout the state of North Carolina and beyond. So it was super challenging in that I had to learn about this company and what they did, but that's exactly what I'll be doing as an attorney. To be able to advise people on what they should do legally, you need to understand what they want to do from a business standpoint. And it was just so different from anything I'd done so far. But also on a personal level, like, it was just really great to work with these people who were trying to achieve something that they found to be very important, and seeing how much time and really passion they were pouring into this company. They had both like quit their full-time jobs to start this company, so it was taking a huge risk for them. I think a lot of times lawyers are risk averse, and so it's great to be on this other side of people who really embrace risk and have to be so aware of it and how to address it in the appropriate way. Something I think we should mention here too is a lot of times when I'm telling my story of like, this is what I've done at law school with the joint JD LLMLE, and prospective students or first years will say, wow, that sounds really great, but doesn't that take up all of your time? I've actually found that I enjoy the time that it does take up, but it certainly doesn't take up all of my time. So for example, this summer, I worked in that environment for half of the summer, and then the other half of the summer, I worked out in the Bay Area with a public interest litigation firm, just so I could see both sides of the law. Definitely confirmed my interest in this more entrepreneurial side, and certainly this more sort of transactional corporate type side of the law.